welcome back to my channel for this Saturday morning, afternoon or evening across the world where you may be at. And today I want to talk to you about social anxiety, as it's something that I've recently been going through, experiencing, as well as being on the autistic spectrum. So I thought I'd talk to you about what social anxiety is. It's also known as social phobia disorder or social anxiety disorder. So it says social anxiety disorder, also called social phobia, is a long-term and overwhelming fear of social situations. It's a common problem that usually starts during around the teenage years. It can be very distressing and have a big impact on daily life. For some people it gets better as they get older, but for many people it does not go away on its own without treatment. It is important to get help if you're having symptoms. There are treatments that can help you manage it. So what are the symptoms of social anxiety? Social anxiety is more than shyness. It's a fear that does not go away and affects everyday activities, self-confidence, relationships, work or school life. Many people occasionally worry about social situations, but someone with a social anxiety feels overly worried before, during and after. You may have social anxiety if you worry about everyday activities such as meeting strangers, starting conversations, speaking on the phone, working or shopping. Avoid or worry a lot about social activities such as group conversations, eating with company and parties. Also worry about doing something you think is embarrassing such as blushing, sweating or appearing incompetent. Finding it difficult to do things when others are watching you. You may feel that you are being watched, judged or criticised. Fear of being criticised, avoiding eye contact or having low self-esteem. Often having symptoms like feeling sick, sweating, trembling or pounding heartbeat. Panic attacks where you have an overwhelming sense of fear or anxiety, usually only lasting for around a few minutes. Many people with social anxiety also have other mental health issues such as depression, generalised anxiety or panic disorder. So where can you get help? This information I'm reading to you is from the National Health Service here in UK. This is what they say. It's a good idea to see your GP if you're in England if you think you have social anxiety, especially if it's having a big impact on your life. It's a common problem and there are treatments that can help. Asking for help can be difficult, but a GP will be aware that many people struggle with social anxiety and will try to put you at ease. They'll ask you about your feelings, behaviours and symptoms to find out more about your anxiety in social situations. They'll ask about your feelings. If you think you have social anxiety, you'll be referred to a mental health specialist to have a full assessment and talk about treatment. You can also refer yourself directly to an NHS talking therapy service without being referred from the GP. Things you can do to try and overcome social anxiety. So I want to stop there for a minute because I want to talk about how it affects me as a person. So for me, I have autism, so I'm already on a heightened state of alert all the time anyway. And for someone with autism spectrum disorder, or autism spectrum condition as I call it, my anxiety is chronically heightened more than the normal neurotypical person. I have more fear of dread. I have an overwhelming sense of doom. I feel like someone's watching me. I feel like I'm being critiqued all the time. I feel shaky. I feel nervous. I feel sweaty. I feel clammy. I feel like people want to shut me down all the time, that my opinions aren't wanted or valid. I know that I come across a bit obsessive or needy. That's because of my autism, but I try and battle that a lot of the time. But also social anxiety is something that I've recently been going through. My doctor has actually told me that's why I've been medically signed off from searching for work, because I've got social anxiety issues. That means like I can't be around much people. I'm trying to have quiet time on my own. I'm trying to do things to make myself feel better, because having social anxiety means that I'm heightened, I'm more jumpy, I'm more fearful, I'm more doubtful. I feel like I want to cry all the time. I've been feeling very low. I've been feeling really socially anxious, not just with my friends, but with my family, online. That's why I've kind of refrained from doing content, because I've been feeling really quite overwhelmed with everything. And I think obviously this is astute from a lot of issues I've been going through with the passing of my nan and different things like that. It's just one little trigger after the other. I've been building up, building up, building up, building up and building up and building up. That has finally hit me, and then all of a sudden my body's just gone, out you go, and it's just exploded into tears and frustration and anxiety and chronic anxiety, not sleeping properly, feeling sick, nauseous, like I want to vomit, feeling panicked, feeling like my chest is going to burst out, my heart's going to beat out my chest, pounding headaches, lack of appetite, or if I am eating, it's I'm eating not so healthy food because that's what I crave rather than a good meal. I'm going to the junk food that I know that I like because it tastes good, it smells good, rather than cooking a more healthier, appropriate meal that I probably should be doing. So again, that's all knocking it into my anxiety, the way that it comes across, the way that I sound, the way that I look. At the moment I've been feeling really not motivated to get dressed. Like I've had to force myself in the last couple of 3 days to get dressed because I know I've been going out, seeing people, interacting with people. I've had to put that mask on, going, okay, Gemma's all right, Gemma's fine, Gemma's everything is woohoo, and Gemma's not triggered, and Gemma's fine, and no, Gemma's not fine. But I'm good at masking it to the point where I don't have to panic about who I'm with as such, because a lot of the places I've been recently are the people who I feel safe with, who I'm trusted with, who I feel will look after me and I don't have to worry about. But social anxiety is a constant thing. It's a constant every day. As soon as I wake up till when I go to bed, it's constantly racking my brain, my body. My body is constantly in pain. I constantly ache. I'm constantly having mental overwhelm, stimulatory overwhelm, auditory overwhelm, emotions overwhelm, and it's got to the point where I've literally just got to shut myself off because it's got to such a point where I cannot cope. And social anxiety comes in waves. It kind of comes and hits me, and then it will disappear, and then also it will comes a wave and go whoop, smack me in the face, and then makes me feel down and doubtful and upset. So these are some things that you can do to help you deal with the overwhelm. Self-help can help reduce social anxiety. You might find it useful before trying other treatments. The following tips may help you. Try to understand more about your anxiety by thinking about it or writing about it, which is what I've been doing. I've been writing it down in my journal, my poetry journal, and keeping social situations to keep track of where my anxiety tends to flare and where it tends to be low. So trying to relaxation techniques such as breathing techniques or meditation for stress. Break down the challenging situations into smaller parts and more reasonable parts for you to feel more relaxed. Try to focus on what people are saying to you than just assuming the worst or the negative. That is easier said than done though, because when you try to explain this to people, you say, "Oh, I'm feeling really anxious. I'm feeling really low. I'm feeling really heightened. I don't know what I'm doing. I feel like everyone's watching me and critiquing me." And being on the autistic spectrum, everything is more heightened. Everything is more alerted. You feel like you're constantly having to watch your own back and watch what you say because the fear of being slammed down or being made to be quiet and being critiqued. Being autistic as well as having social anxiety is really hard because I mask a lot of my social anxiety. So people might say, "Oh yeah, right, Gemma, whatever, you're not anxious," and I actually am. I have chronic anxiety every day. I have to battle this thing every day because if I don't take control of it, it will control me. And at some points recently, yes, I have partially let it control me because my body's been in so much pain I just didn't want to fight it. But I am taking more control of it now. I am taking more notice of what it is, how it dictates to me, how it presents itself to me, and now I manage to get more triggers in place to stop it. But social anxiety is no laughing matter. It really is a painful process. It's overwhelming, physically, emotionally, mentally. I script my days, I schedule my days, so I know, okay, Gemma's going to be here this day, this day, this day, this day. Gemma's going to be home this day, this day, this day, this day. So I know I have a balance of going out and being at home. So, it's a case of being really planned, scripted, routine, structure, keeping that routine in my place so that I don't get to this point again, that I don't get to this point of feeling like I've lost the plot, like I've lost control of everything. But I will link about social anxiety down below in the video description. I hope you've enjoyed this video of my experience of going through it and what I'm doing to get over it, and I will see you next time. Bye.